Honor 90 camera test. Peace be upon you, my dear friends and followers of the channel. How are you today? I hope you are well and in good health. Today I have a beautiful, new and important video for everyone. This video will be titled Honor 90 camera test. But before watching the video, subscribe to the channel and like and share so that it reaches the largest number of people. Now let's watch the video and I hope you like it. We subjected the Honor 90 to rigorous flagship camera test to measure its performance in image quality, video and zoom from the end user's perspective. Here in this video I will explain the device's performance in a variety of tests and common use cases and aim to highlight the most important results of our testing through a snippet of the data captured. Overview. Main camera specifications. Primary camera, 200MP 1.48 cubed sensor, 0.56A micro impixel, f/1.9 lens, DAF ultra-wide camera, 12MP sensor, 112S field of view, f/2.2 lens, autofocus depth, 2MP sensor, f/2.4 lens. Pros: accurate exposure of the subject in most conditions, wide dynamic range and bright light, bright and vivid colors, especially for outdoor and indoor, stable and fast autofocus outdoor and indoor, low video noise in bright conditions, good detail in close-ups. Cons: frequent localized loss of texture in low light shots, shadow noise in images, sharpness differences between video frames, unwanted effects, such as aliasing, blending effects, and shadows, loss of fine detail in close-up shots. In our flagship camera tests, the Honor 90 delivered solid performance overall, with some of the best exposure and autofocus results we've seen on a high-end device. Target exposure was accurate in most conditions, even in backlit scenes and other difficult lighting situations, and autofocus was more consistent than most others in this category. Our experts were particularly impressed with the Honor phone's macro mode, which allowed the photographer to get up close to the subject and was able to capture very good detail. Most high-end devices come with less effective macro modes. On the other hand, the balance between detail retention and noise reduction could have been better. Our testers found that the Honor 90 suffers from the loss of local texture, especially in low light. Additionally, they noticed a significant loss of detail when zooming up close, as the device lacks a dedicated telephoto lens. Performance in video mode was very similar to still photo mode, with the same good exposure and vivid colors in daylight and indoor conditions. We also noticed the same loss of detail in low light conditions as in still images. While there is room for improvement, the Honor 90's performance is generally good for its class and is a good choice for capturing scenes without a lot of movement in decent light. For example, portrait shots of friends and family. Test summary about flagship camera tests. Flagship camera evaluations are conducted in laboratories and in real-world situations using a variety of subjects. The results are based on objective tests, where results are calculated directly by calibration software in our laboratory settings, and on perceptual tests, where a sophisticated set of metrics allows a team of image experts to compare aspects of image quality that require human judgment. Smartphone testing involves a team of engineers and technicians for about a week. Image, zoom and video quality are scored separately and then combined into an overall score for comparison across cameras in different devices. For more information about the flagship camera protocol, for recording and analysis, flagship engineers capture and evaluate more than 2,600 test images in controlled laboratory environments and in outdoor, indoor and dimly lit landscape scenes, using default camera settings. The photo protocol is designed to take into account key use cases and is based on typical photography scenarios, such as portraits, family photos and landscapes. Evaluation is performed by visual inspection of images against a reference of natural scenes, and by performing objective measurements on histogram images taken in the laboratory under various lighting conditions from 1 to 1000 plus lux and color temperatures from 2300 K to 6500 K. Exposure and color are the main features of technically good photos. For exposure, the main characteristic evaluated is the brightness of the main subject across different use cases such as landscapes, portraits or still life. Other factors that are evaluated are contrast and dynamic range. For example, the ability to render visual detail in both bright and dark areas of the image. Repeatability is also important because it shows the camera's ability to provide the same exposure when taking multiple photos of the same scene. For color, the image quality attributes analyzed are skin tone rendering, white balance, color shading, and repeatability. For color rendering and skin tone, we penalize unnatural colors but respect the manufacturer's choice of color signature. F-tests focus on focus accuracy, focus repeatability, shooting time delay, and depth of field. Shooting delay is the difference between the time the user presses the capture button and the time the photo is actually captured. This includes focusing speed and the device's ability to capture images at the right time, which is called no shutter lag capability. Even if a shallow depth of field can be pleasing for a portrait of a single subject or a close-up shot, it can also be problematic in some specific circumstances such as group photos. Both positions are tested. Focus accuracy is also evaluated in all real-life images captured, from infinity to close-up subjects and in low light to outdoor conditions. Texture tests analyze the level of detail and texture of subjects in images captured in the laboratory as well as in real-life scenarios. For landscape shots, special attention is paid to the level of detail in the bright and dark areas of the image. Objective measurements are performed on histogram images captured in different illumination conditions from 1 to 1000 lux and different types of dynamic range conditions. The charts used are the Special Xmark, DMC, chart and the dead leaves chart. Noise tests analyze different noise attributes such as density, color, granularity, and structure in real-world images as well as chart images captured in the laboratory. For natural images, special attention is paid to noise on faces and landscapes, but also on dark areas and high dynamic range conditions. Noise on moving objects in natural images is also evaluated. Objective measurements are made on chart images captured at different conditions from 1 to 1000 lux and different types of dynamic range conditions. The chart used is the dead leaves chart and the standardized measurements as visual noise derived from ISO 15739. Artifact evaluation looks at lens vignetting, chromatic aberrations, geometric distortions, edge ringing, halos, ghosting, quantization, and unexpected hue shifts, among other types of possible unnatural effects on images. The more severe and frequent the problem, the more points will be deducted from the score. Below is a list of the main problems observed and the corresponding points lost. Preview tests analyze image quality in the camera app's preview of an image, paying particular attention to the difference between capture and preview, especially regarding dynamic range and bokeh effect application. Smoothness of exposure, color and focus adjustment are also evaluated when zoomed from the minimum to maximum available zoom factor. Preview frame rate is measured using the global LED timer. About Xmark camera zoom tests. Xmark engineers capture and evaluate more than 400 test images in controlled laboratory environments and in outdoor, indoor and low-light landscape scenes, using default camera settings and zooming in at various zoom factors from ultra-wide to ultra-long range zooms. Evaluation is performed by visual inspection of images against a reference of natural scenes, and by making objective measurements of histogram images taken in the laboratory under varying conditions from 20 to 1000 lux and color temperatures from 2300 K to 6500 K. These tests analyze the ultra-wide-angle camera's performance at several focal lengths from 12 mm to 20 mm. All image quality attributes are evaluated, with special attention paid to such artifacts as chromatic aberrations, lens smoothness, and distortions. The images below are an excerpt of the scenes tested. All image quality attributes are evaluated at focal lengths from approximately 40 mm to 300 mm, with particular attention paid to texture and detail. The result is obtained from a number of objective measurements in the laboratory and perceptual analysis of real-life images. This graph shows the evolution of DMC detail preservation with respect to full-frame equivalent focal length for different lighting conditions. The x-axis represents the equivalent focal length measured for each corresponding shooting distance, and the y-axis represents the maximum degree of detail preservation, A higher value means better quality. The larger dots correspond to the zoom ratio available in the camera app's UI. About Xmark Camera video tests. Xmark engineers capture and evaluate more than 2.5 hours of video in controlled laboratory environments and in low-light landscape scenes, both indoors and outdoors, using default camera settings. The evaluation consists of visually examining natural videos captured in different conditions and performing objective measurements on videos of histograms recorded in the laboratory under various conditions from 1 to 1000 plus lux and color temperatures from 2300 K to 6500 K. Exposure tests evaluate the brightness of the main subject and dynamic range. That is the ability to render visible detail in both bright and dark areas of the image. Exposure stability and temporal adaptation are also analyzed. Image quality analysis addresses color, skin tone rendering, white balance, color shading, white balance stability and its adaptation when light changes. Texture tests analyze the level of detail and texture of real-life videos as well as histogram videos recorded in the lab. Natural video recordings are evaluated visually, with special attention paid to the level of detail in bright areas as well as in the dark. Objective measurements are made of chart images taken at various conditions from 1 to 1000 lux. The charts used are Xmark, DMC, chart and dead leaves chart. Noise tests analyze different noise attributes such as density, color, granularity, structure and temporal aspects in real-life video recordings as well as videos of diagrams captured in the laboratory. Natural videos are evaluated visually, with special attention paid to noise in dark areas and high dynamic range conditions. Objective measurements are made on chart videos recorded at various conditions from 1 to 1000 lux. The scheme used is the Xmark Visual Noise Chart. The stabilization rating tests the device's ability to stabilize shots thanks to software or hardware technologies such as OIS, eyes, or other means. The evaluation addresses residual motion, smoothness, gel artifacts, and residual motion blur in walking and running use cases in different lighting conditions. The video below is an excerpt of one of the scenes tested. Artifacts are evaluated using MTF and ring measurements on an SFR chart in the lab as well as frame rate measurements using the global LED timer. Natural videos are evaluated visually by paying special attention to artifacts such as aliasing, quantization, occlusion, and color shift, among others. The more severe and more frequent the artifacts are, the more points are deducted from the score. Key artifacts and corresponding point losses are listed at the end of the video. I thank you for watching and I hope you liked it, and see you in a new video.